Before I start this video, I would like to ask you to please support this channel if you can, as Starseed origin videos take more time than I expect to make. Share my videos and donate to my channel. Anything is greatly appreciated. Links are down in the description below. Now let's get to the video. The Anunnakis are a father consciousness based energy. They have a system of hierarchy and structure. They came from another universe in another dimension that is not from here. I saw a realm, a blue and dark blue galaxy. Within there is a dark blue and grey planet called planet Nibiru. At first I saw beautiful green, the Anunnaki humanoid being walking around the grassy field. The planet had multiple layers or dimensions, and it's very similar to the three heavens mentioned in the Bible. You can see how a lot of the biblical history reflects with the Anunnaki traits and the Anunnaki history themselves. The top layer is the Anunnaki gods, who are in charge of everything. This realm is actually very calm and stable. It's another dark blue realm, the color of underwater. That's where Enlil resides in, as I saw him sitting at his throne. In the lower realms, I see a class of workers that is building giant architectures and temples for the giants. Yeah, the Anunnaki beings are in fact giants, and they created a working class just to serve them, to build and enrich their civilizations. Now that I think about it, it's very similar to us humans, where sometimes we are forced to work as slaves, and when we have the power, we just leave the heavy work for others to do. But it's interesting, the architecture they are building are powered by sacred geometry and powerful light codes. There is no doubt the Anunnaki have influences to the ancient sites on Earth. In the Bible, where it is not just proven from the book, but there are footprints of giants and Nephilims related beings found by the archaeologists. I want to mention the story, specifically the Old Testament, about the giants and the conflicts between the giants and the human, the working class. Like the battle between David and Goliath. They are very aligned with what I saw, that there is a great discrimination towards the working class from the giants, and they treated humans like trash. Enlil, which was the top of the pyramids, didn't like that. He wanted the hierarchy to maintain balance and stability. He understands the balance, and if the giants continue to abuse the working class, it will collapse, causing the whole structure to collapse. So he was protective of the working class and favors those who work hard to serve him. So he's not exactly pure evil in a way that he would take everything from you and try to destroy you. Although I don't agree with his methods, and he was indeed very cruel based on what he did historically. But energetically speaking, when I was tapping into his energy, there is still a voice of reason and empathy from him. Like he would still provide rest and nourishment for the working, for his people. His way of thinking is like a businessman that makes sure things will continue to run and the structure remains stable, like playing a game of kingship. I remember when I was playing tycoon games, where you need to earn efficient money. You just want to make the worker class work to their limit to make as much profit as possible. This is how the Anunnakis originally see us. And you will see how the characteristics, thinking patterns, and habits apply to us humans, because we all have the Anunnaki DNA inside us. And just like in the Bible, God, who is Enlil, created us based from his image. So we are made similar to him in some way and similar to the Anunnakis in some way. On planet Nibiru, the structure seems to be more stable and conflicts are a lot less within their own civilization. The lust for conquest and expansion is actually part of their agenda, and this is where there is a lot of power struggle within. The Anunnaki have been expanding their territory and creating their own slave race to do the work of extracting resources for their planet, as they have been struggling with scarcity. One of the planets they found was Earth. In their universe, it was hard to find valuable resources, so they had to dimension hop to this universe and found out Earth is very rich with resources. They have also started many cultural wars with other races, forcefully spreading their ideology to other civilizations in order to create their slave race. The high Anunnaki had to create a structure where they are worshipped as gods or angels. This also disrupted the balance of the universe and sparked a war between the Anunnakis and the angelic beings. And so there is a huge war between the Anunnakis and the angelic warriors that came from Formalhaut. That's why one of the channeling I did for a client, I found out he was from Formalhaut and there was a war between Formalhaut and the Anunnakis. Many of the Anunnakis fight amongst themselves to rise up to the top to try to claim the god throne. The Anunnakis were the very first few races that claimed Earth and ruled over. So that's why there is a tremendous amount of information and history about them. And since there are many different information about the Anunnakis, I had to do some research about them, particularly on the god figures. When I first picked up the energy of Enlil, I feel his energy is very connected with the authoritative god, such as the god Zeus and god Poseidon from the Greek mythology. These two figures are very similar in energy. Both of them are very authoritarian and wrathful, always angry, like the strict father we have today. And then there is God the Father in the Bible, also known as Yahweh. Similar personality and usually very harsh on its people. But they do it for maintaining structure. It is the more of the heavy, extreme masculine method of governing things. Here's the thing though, when I looked up the Anunnaki gods or the Sumerian gods, I found out god Anu is the highest in position, whereas Enki and Enlil are his sons. God Anu, however, passed his throne to Enlil, and so that explains why I didn't pick up God Anu on any of these authoritative figures as much as I picked up for Enlil. God Anu is the god of the sky, also known as heaven, when we refer it in the godly language. Anu became an ascended god, where he ascended beyond this matrix, this universe matrix, after he passed down his throne to Enlil. Enki is a fallen god, representing Lucifer. One of the main reasons why Enki defies his brother is because of jealousy, as he wanted to rule humanity for himself. Those two become almost polar opposite to each other, where Enki often ruled from below and Enlil ruled from above. And it's interesting because in the Greek mythology there is also the Trinity, where Zeus is also the god of sky, representing Anu. Poseidon has a similar aura with Enlil, as their aura colors are dark blue, and Hades rule from below, just like Enki. Now let's talk about Atlantis. The Anunnakis were the legitimate rulers of Atlantis, and many of the Atlantean technology came from the knowledge and wisdoms of the Anunnakis. It's extremely difficult to track down the history of ancient Earth and all the Yeti's involvement because it's never one pattern, and it's so chaotic. Each race has their own agenda, and it's not as simple as to say Draconians bad, Syrians good, or whatnot. The Anunnaki came with a simple agenda to become the rulers of Earth for the welfare of their planet and to honor their ancestral lineage. So the Anunnakis weren't really allied to any particular race, but their own. And they were greatly affected from the split of Earth, the fall of Atlantis, and the descent to 3D. The fall of Atlantis was what caused the Great Split, and it was caused by both the internal and external conflicts, the collapsing of timelines, the fracturing of time and space and dimensions, the physical, mental, and spiritual war and destruction, chaos. The Anunnaki had many other competitors that wanted to take over Earth to become the master race of Earth, such as the Zetas, the Greys, and the Draconians, The list goes on, each having their own agendas. This is why world wars on Earth has alerted many races. One example was the World War II. Many Starseeds were brought to Earth to usher change and prevent any major wars from happening again ever since. The Anunnaki god beings are one of the creators, as we all have their DNA and our behavioral patterns greatly resemble them, that we have always been lustful for conquering and conquest and obedience. The structure and system of today's society is also heavily influenced by the Anunnakis. However, if you have noticed, the newer generations are different and they show less of this DNA trait, because many of the new incarnates are Starseeds, and there has been many awakenings and upgrades which change the DNA patterns and behaviors, bringing forth a whole new dynamic. During the descent to 3D, many Anunnaki souls were just as affected, and many were trapped by this traumatic energy, putting them into the reincarnation cycle until they move on and heal from it. So many Anunnaki Starseeds have been on Earth for quite a long time, and they feel homesick. Most of them learned from this experience or lost interest in this competition, wanting to return home. Majority of ascended Anunnaki who left the game have decided to disassociate with Earth's affair and be part of the Watchers to let humanity decide which direction it desires to take. Here are the traits of the Anunnaki Starseed to see if you resonate. If you believe you are an Anunnaki, or if you feel that your energy is very similar to the Anunnaki. First, they are inherently masculine, and they operate from a father consciousness, a father collective. They are more comfortable or are used to the patriarchal system because that's how they were raised. They are technical, structural strategists or planners, anything that relates to technicality or structure. They value structure a lot. They are connected with gods from religions or mythology that resembles the Anunnaki gods, like the Sumerians. They are drawn to ancient civilizations from Atlantis, Sumer, and Egypt. Some are seekers and learners, wanting to disassociate their old ways to make way for the new. They feel energetically affected and are pulled in from the traumatic events or energies of Atlantis and the split of Earth. The Anunnakis that were affected by the reincarnation cycle today are part of the collective of humanity's free will to choose their path. And so it is an important time for them to work on healing and to be part of the choice making of the ascension progress to come. If you are interested in an Akashic record reading to learn about your origin, or if you need any other spiritual help, feel free to book a session. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share my video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Much love and peace.